What if the chaos currently destroying your life is not a curse, but the only raw material capable of forging something far more dangerous than comfort ever could? Most people spend their lives avoiding the abyss. They run from humiliation, failure, rejection, and collapse as if these forces are poisonous to the soul. Yet the Stoic perspective reveals a far colder truth. Comfort does not forge strength. Stability does not produce authority. The only environment capable of dismantling weakness completely is the moment when everything you relied on begins to crumble. When life collapses, something rare occurs. The social performance disappears. The carefully crafted identity you once presented to the world begins to fracture. And in that fracture, the truth emerges. Who you thought you were was often built on fragile foundations. Approval from others, temporary success, validation from environments that could disappear overnight. Rock bottom has a brutal advantage. It strips all of that away. When the ego has nothing left to protect, it becomes exposed for what it truly is. A structure of habits, fears, reactions, and unconscious weaknesses that were never examined. The Stoic does not fear this moment. They recognize it as the only place where reconstruction becomes possible, because before something stronger can be built, the previous identity must be dismantled completely. This is what most people misunderstand about despair. They see it purely as emotional suffering. They see it as something to suppress, numb, or escape. But beneath the emotional surface, despair is actually an enormous concentration of psychological energy. Think of it like pressure deep beneath the earth. When pressure is ignored, it creates destruction. But when pressure is harnessed, it becomes the force that shapes diamonds from ordinary carbon. The same principle exists within the human mind. The intense emotional weight that accompanies failure, humiliation, or loss contains an enormous amount of potential energy. Yet most individuals allow that energy to dissolve into self-pity, anger, or paralysis. Stoic discipline demands something different. Instead of drowning inside despair, you observe it. You treat it as a phenomenon rather than a personal curse. The moment you detach from the emotional storm, you gain the ability to examine the mechanics of your own collapse with cold clarity. And that clarity reveals something uncomfortable but powerful. Every fall exposes the structural weaknesses that previously existed within you. When a career collapses, it exposes dependency on external validation. When relationships shatter, they often expose emotional blind spots or misplaced loyalty. When ambition fails, it reveals gaps in discipline or strategy that were previously ignored. Most people protect their ego from these realizations because the truth is painful. But pain contains information, and the Stoic understands that information is far more valuable than temporary comfort. This is where the process of analyzing the abyss begins. Instead of asking why the collapse happened to you, the Stoic asks a far more strategic question. What exactly failed, and why was it allowed to exist for so long without correction? This question removes the emotional narrative of victimhood and replaces it with investigation. The collapse becomes data. The humiliation becomes a signal. The despair becomes evidence. Every weakness that once hid beneath success becomes visible in the harsh light of failure. Once this investigation begins, something extraordinary happens. The identity you previously believed was permanent begins to look like a prototype rather than a final form. The habits you once accepted become adjustable mechanisms. The fears that once controlled your behavior become identifiable triggers that can be dismantled. In this moment, the Stoic mindset emerges fully. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of events, but as an architect of reconstruction. The previous version of you failed because it was built with unstable materials. Ego, distraction, emotional dependency, or the need for approval. Now, standing inside the ruins of that structure, you possess the rare opportunity to build something entirely different. But reconstruction requires a new relationship with pain. Most people try to bury their lowest phase as quickly as possible. They distract themselves, deny what happened, and rush toward superficial recovery. The Stoic refuses this temptation. Instead, they study the experience with almost scientific focus. They examine every emotional reaction, every poor decision, every blind spot that contributed to the collapse. Not out of shame, but out of strategy. because the moment you can look directly at your own weaknesses without flinching, you remove their ability to control you in the future. This level of self-examination requires emotional detachment so severe that it almost feels unnatural at first. You begin observing your own mind the way a scientist observes an experiment. Anger appears. You analyze it. Fear emerges. You examine it. Doubt surfaces. You question where it originated and whether it deserves authority over your decisions. This is the first transformation that occurs in the depths of the abyss. Instead of reacting emotionally to your lowest phase, you begin harvesting it. Every painful memory becomes a piece of raw material. Every mistake becomes a blueprint for future correction. And slowly, something begins to form inside your mind. A realization that the collapse you once feared might actually be the most valuable moment of your life. Because only when everything false has been stripped away do you gain the clarity required to rebuild with absolute precision. And once that realization takes hold, the despair that once consumed you begins to transform into something colder, sharper, and far more controlled. The next phase is where that raw emotional energy is refined, distilled, and converted into disciplined power. Once the abyss has been examined and the illusion of your former identity has been dismantled, the next step is far more strategic. Raw emotional pain alone does not create strength. Pain without direction simply creates bitterness. To transform suffering into authority, you must begin practicing what can only be described as strategic emotional alchemy. This process begins with a radical shift in perspective. Instead of viewing yourself as the subject of misfortune, you adopt the mindset of a technician working inside a laboratory. Your experiences become materials to be analyzed, separated, and refined. Anger is no longer an uncontrollable outburst. It becomes a chemical element that can be converted into motivation. Fear is no longer paralysis. It becomes an indicator pointing directly toward areas where growth must occur. Even humiliation becomes valuable because it strips away illusions and reveals the reality of how the world perceives your actions. When you adopt this mindset, the emotional chaos of your lowest phase becomes something you can manipulate rather than something that controls you. This transformation requires ruthless honesty with yourself. The Stoic path demands that every impulse inside your mind be examined for its usefulness. When resentment appears, you question whether it provides strategic advantage or simply wastes energy. When self-pity attempts to take control, you treat it like a malfunctioning component that must be removed from the system. This approach may appear cold, but it is precisely this coldness that allows the mind to regain control. Emotion is not eliminated. It is refined and redirected. This is where the philosophy becomes slightly Machiavellian. Instead of allowing your impulses to dictate behavior, you begin governing them with calculated discipline. Each reaction is evaluated through a simple question. Does this strengthen the person I am becoming, or does it reinforce the weaknesses that destroyed the previous version of me? The moment you begin applying this filter consistently, your internal environment changes dramatically. Emotional noise decreases, clarity increases, decisions become more deliberate. The mind begins functioning less like a battlefield and more like a command center. Yet this level of control cannot exist without a powerful defensive mechanism against the outside world. In modern society, criticism and judgment arrive instantly. The digital landscape amplifies every mistake, every opinion, and every perceived weakness. Without protection, these external voices can destabilize even the most disciplined individual. This is why the Stoic develops what can be described as a psychological firewall. Instead of reacting emotionally to criticism, the Stoic processes it as data. If the criticism contains truth, it becomes valuable information for improvement. If it is baseless or malicious, it is discarded without emotional investment. This ability to treat external judgment as neutral information creates enormous psychological stability. The opinions of others lose their power to destabilize your identity. Approval no longer inflates your ego. Disapproval no longer weakens your confidence. Both become signals that can be evaluated rationally. Over time, this discipline creates an internal environment where emotional manipulation becomes nearly impossible. People who attempt to provoke you find that their tactics no longer produce the reactions they expect. Their influence disappears the moment your self-worth becomes internally anchored. This shift is subtle but profound. Instead of chasing validation, you begin pursuing mastery. Instead of defending your reputation, you begin strengthening your character. And as this transformation continues, something new begins to emerge. An identity constructed not from external approval, but from deliberate internal design. This is the moment when reconstruction evolves into architecture. The raw emotional material harvested from your lowest phase is now ready to be used as structural reinforcement. The failures that once humiliated you become reminders of vulnerabilities that will never be ignored again. The pain that once weakened your resolve becomes the fuel that powers your discipline. Slowly, deliberately, a new version of yourself begins to take shape. But this new structure cannot be built casually. It requires precise design, strict routines, and unwavering commitment to self-mastery. Because once the foundation of emotional control has been established, the final step is to construct a presence so solid that external chaos can no longer shake it. With emotional alchemy complete and internal discipline firmly established, the final phase begins, the architecture of dominance. At this stage, the goal is no longer simple recovery from your lowest phase. The goal is transformation into a presence that commands authority without needing to demand it. Most people attempt to appear confident by projecting artificial bravado. They raise their voices, exaggerate their accomplishments, or seek validation through social recognition. True authority does not operate this way. It emerges quietly from internal certainty. When a person has faced collapse, analyzed their own weaknesses, refined their emotional impulses, and rebuilt their discipline from the ground up, something changes in their demeanor. Their movements become deliberate. Their speech becomes measured, their reactions become controlled. This is not performance. It is the natural expression of internal alignment. To maintain this alignment, the Stoic develops a daily protocol that prioritizes self-mastery above comfort. Discipline becomes the foundation of identity. Each day is structured with intention. Physical health is maintained because a weak body undermines mental authority. Intellectual growth is pursued because stagnation invites complacency. Emotional regulation is practiced because a reactive mind cannot sustain leadership. Over time, these routines accumulate into a powerful momentum. The individual who once struggled with collapse now moves through the world with a calm intensity that others instinctively recognize. This presence is not loud, but it is unmistakable. People sense when someone has endured hardship and emerged stronger rather than broken. Yet authority requires more than internal strength. It also requires awareness of external influence. The world is filled with subtle attempts at manipulation, people seeking to control outcomes through emotional pressure, social expectations, or psychological tactics. The Stoic neutralizes these influences through observation and silence. Instead of reacting immediately to others, they watch carefully. They study tone, intention, and motivation before responding. This patience exposes manipulative behavior that most people miss. Once detected, these tactics lose their power because they rely on emotional reaction to succeed. By maintaining calm detachment, the Stoic disrupts the entire mechanism of manipulation. This discipline becomes particularly important in the modern digital landscape, where identity is constantly challenged by shifting trends in public opinion. In such an environment, many individuals reshape themselves repeatedly to match whatever the crowd currently approves. The Stoic refuses this cycle. Their sense of worth is anchored internally rather than externally. Trends change, narratives shift, public opinion fluctuates. None of these forces alter the principles guiding their actions. This independence creates an impenetrable boundary around their identity. Within that boundary, decisions are made according to long-term purpose rather than temporary approval. Eventually, this stability evolves into something even more powerful: psychological sovereignty. At this stage, your environment begins adapting to you rather than the other way around. Your composure influences the emotional tone of a room. Your certainty creates clarity in moments of uncertainty. Your discipline becomes a standard that others naturally respect. This is what it means to project authority without forcing it. The scars of your lowest phase become visible not as weakness, but as evidence of durability. People trust those who have endured hardship and remained standing. They sense authenticity in individuals who have nothing left to prove. The journey that began in the abyss now reaches its final transformation. The chaos that once threatened to destroy you becomes the foundation of an unbreakable identity. The despair that once overwhelmed you becomes proof that your resilience has already been tested. And the discipline forged through that struggle becomes a permanent state of strength. This is the true meaning of the unbreakable spirit. It is not the absence of adversity. It is the ability to convert adversity into authority. Once this transformation is complete, future chaos loses its ability to intimidate you. You have already walked through the lowest phase and emerged with clarity, discipline, and control. And from that moment forward, every challenge that appears becomes simply another opportunity to reinforce the structure you have built.